It's 2025 and I've got some comics. Oh, yes. I hope you enjoyed that intro. Yeah, I'm trying to be serious because it's time. It's February. It's time for the latest comic book finds pickups volume. And I think this is number 148. And these books actually came about in late November in that ECW solo mission wild thing I shot, where I was going around to different stores. And I went in this pawn shop and they had some good comics set out. And I told Eddie and Chris about them. And Eddie said he had done been there and went through that stack. And I went through that stack, and one of the most noteworthy things about it was there was a hell of a run of Punisher there. I mean, if you was looking to build a Punisher collection, that whoever had that collection had a number of Punisher issues in the early 90s. He didn't really have any keys. He didn't have the keys of the end of the run, like the last 6 or 7 issues, which are low print runs. I think it's issues 97 to 104, which I have, which took me a few years to find. 97, I think 98, 99 was the hardest issues I had to find in that run. But yeah, like I said, at the end of that run, that issue started getting low print run because the book was getting ready to be canceled. War Journal was the same way. War Journal, I think the last couple issues of it's hard to find. I've gotten, I think, 77 and 79, and I think I got 80 and 81, but I think there's, like, I don't know if I have 77, but those issues were hard to find. And there was a bunch of Punisher. Like I said, I was interested. I started picking them up, and I was like, should I get these, or should I just go with concentrating and spreading it around? So I was like, well, let me go ahead and spread it around. Let me look around for some stuff. And I found some good stuff. I got 8 issues in total. I've got mostly DC, but I got 2 or 3 Marvel. So I'm going to go ahead and show these off. And one of the first things I picked up, and I actually remember borrowing this back in junior high from a friend. It is Superman Time and Time Again. I forgot who I borrowed this from. And he let me borrow it and take it home and read it. And I brought it back to him. This is the same trade paperback that I was looking at it. I was like, man, I wonder if, this is cool. It's in great condition. I was kind of hoping, if there's a name in it. I was like, could it be? I can't remember who I borrowed it from. I said, if their name is in this will be kind of cool, but it's not. And Time Again has Superman meet the time characters, like Wave Rider and the Lenor. They're called the Lenor Men. The Lenor Men. They're outside of time. And Superman has a time travel story with this. You can see on the back here he meets dinosaurs. I remember borrowing this in junior high, and I remember reading it and bringing it back to the guy I borrowed it from. And it was, God, I can't remember who it was. It might have been a boy named Sam. I might have borrowed it from him. Drink Coca Cola. Yes. Coca Cola. Yeah, that commercial was needed right there. But anyway, it was a good deal. So I picked up some more DC, and I actually started filling in some of my saga of the Swamp Thing, and I was kind of hoping that he would have later in the run. I think if I looked in those cabinets, he might have later in the run of Swamp Thing, because I would love to fill that running in the rest of it. But I got issue 3 of Swamp Thing. I got issue 4 of Swamp Thing. I got issue 6 of Swamp Thing. Yeah, issue 6. And I got issue number 9. I think I got the first 6 or 7 issues of this saga of the Swamp Thing in total. I think I just need to get, like I said, if I'm working, eventually my long-term goal was probably to get this whole volume of this run that was saga and that became Swamp Thing and Vertigo. That would be a kind of cool long-term goal to get. Like if I get all the Hellblazer issues as a long-term goal, go to Swamp Thing next, and get all the Vertigo titles like that. But there's really no keys in those saga Swamp Thing issues. There's pretty cool art and stories, and like I said, good 80s books, cheap. I mean, man, these was cheap. I actually picked up, like I said, 3 Marvel books. And one of them is Amazing Spider-Man 227 with Spider-Man and Black Cat. Spider-Man and Black Cat. I do like the ad on the back. I guess the Lone Ranger movie had just come out, and they were trying to making action figures of it, because free Lone Ranger toys. So I'm kind of thinking Legend of the Lone Ranger had come out. Purchase any 4 Lone Rangers figures or horses shown above. Cut out, Yeah. Yeah, this is coming out in 82 or 83. I think this is right when the Legend of that Lone Ranger movie came out, which bombed. And I think they were just trying to make action figures of it. But this is kind of cool. Like I said, Spider-Man and Black Cat. I was hoping he would have more Spider-Man issues. A more Amazing Spider-Man in that run in the early 200s. Because I would have went ahead and got those instead of the Swamp Thing. Those would have been worth more to get than the Swamp Thing. I like Spider-Man more. I like Swamp Thing, but Spider-Man more is more like the character I would have collected because I like to get that right. Now, I spoke of the Punisher earlier. And the Punisher is, he was heavily in there. There was a bunch of War Journal issues, Warzone. Warzone, there was a whole arc there that I could have bought, which I was tempted to. It was a arc where he's kidnapped by this police force and placed in this fake town with fake actors who are playing his kids and wife. And he's been, his mind has been wiped a bit. So he thinks he's back in this, he thinks he's going to work and living in the suburbs. They did this to keep Frank Castle away from people, because he's killing too many people, and they knew they would never stop him. So they was trying to just keep him away, right? And they had the rest of that arc there. So I was tempted to get that whole arc, right? I was tempted to get that whole freaking arc. But I didn't do it, because I was like, I got 3 issues of the arc, and there was like 3 or 4 issues more of it. And I was looking for Warzone's final issues. They didn't have them. And so I went through War Journal, same thing, no later issues of War Journal. They had up into the 50s. There's no issues later. But I was like going through there, and I found this issue of War Journal I needed. And it's got a guest starring Wolverine. It's Punisher War Journal number 6. I needed this one. I had number 7. And Jim Lee drew them meeting up. You can see Jim Lee's art right there. But this is a nice little minor key. So Punisher War Journal 6 and 7 had Wolverine and the Punisher teaming up. And, or fighting, teaming up. Anyhow, they would get a sequel a couple years later called Damaging Evidence, which I got. And Damaging Evidence was a mini-series. And there's nothing wrong with Damaging Evidence, but this one was really nice. It's nice to finish, after so many years, to find issue 6 in a pawn shop. And I just scrolled through my stash. I was like, I know I don't have this. Oh, yep, I need that. They had 7, too, so I was like, I need one of these issues. I know I need one of these. Now we're going to move on. And the final issue I got is a minor key, and it's starting to get a little bit hot. It is the Rise of the Midnight Suns. I think this is when the Midnight Suns really started their first crossover with Ghost Rider. And there's rumors coming around that Ghost Rider and the Midnight Sun characters will be showing up on Netflix soon. That's always been a rumor. Like, they're going to bring Ghost Rider back. And he's going to show up with the Midnight Sun characters. So I went ahead and got issue 28 of Ghost Rider. I know I needed this issue. I have the one after it, actually. I needed 28. So I was like, okay, that's pretty cool to find it in there. And this is something that was kind of cool. I'm trying to see what this is. You could see back in the day that they used to advertise selling comics on the back. Back in the early 90s, early to mid 90s, they used to sell comics through mail order, like Mile High. Well, this one is a little bit different. I'm trying to figure out what company this is. But yeah, it's very unique. This company was from Gainesville, I think Washington. Yeah, Gainesville, Washington. And yeah, it was. It's like I said, it's a unique company. I think it's called. I'm looking around for the name of it, but it's not on here. But you can see what titles they was selling, which is kind of cool to look back and see what was hot back then that they was selling. That's always unique in history. So yeah, nice little ad on the back. But yeah, that's all 8 issues. Not a big haul. It's just something that, I picked up at the end of November, and I was wanting to show here on the channel. And hopefully, the next few months, I'll have more books to show. So, thanks for watching. Till next time, hope you like and sub the channel. Drop me a comment. Tell me what you want, about some of these books, or, you can make fun of them if you want, because I know Ghost Rider and ain't that popular character at times, but hey, it's pretty fun. Till next time, I'm gonna go read me some Superman time and time again, baby. Oh yes.